215 Sports Podcast. I can't even say an intro or say anything because we got to jump straight into this because Jose Alvarado got suspended, and that is a huge blow to the Phillies bullpen. I mean, wow.
Yeah.
You can't get suspended.
I mean,
for some BS like that.
Him being out for 80 games isn't even the biggest thing because
it's not. He's going to come back.
Yeah, they'll be able to tread water for that time, and they're going.
But he won't be able to pitch into the playoffs.
It's the fact that he won't be able to pitch in the playoffs. That's the real
That's the one pain in the ass right there.
Yeah, and they did activate Jose Ruiz and also call up Max Lazar, so you are getting technically two arms into the bullpen to replace the one arm for now.
But they're not going to
be high leverage.
Yeah, they're not going to create the same production as Jose Alvarado did.
And they're not going to most likely be trusted, I would assume, in the later innings in the playoffs when that's where you really need Alvarado. So this puts way more stress on Dave Dombrowski to go out there and make a move and figure out what to do.
He'll have to make a move. It's like regardless, he'll have to make a move. Regardless of the outcome, you have to get a high leverage reliever.
Now, you can shift it to where you just make Romano the full-time closer, which it does seem like he is out of that little funk.
Yeah, he's out of that little funk. He's looking really better than what he used to be. So
he's looking a lot more how he was before the injury.
And his fastball is touching 98, 99.
Yeah, and he should be able to stay there, hopefully, as long as he's healthy.
His velocity is up. His pitches look good.
Yeah.
If only he can continue what he's been doing, then I'm fine with him being the closer.
Yeah, I think that he could definitely step into the full-time closer role. He did it with Toronto. He's used to it. It's not something he hasn't done before. And the only thing is you're still going to need that high leverage 8th inning and 7th inning arm. If
you're gonna have to use Orion Kerkering, he has to get back on track because he's not ready for a high leverage situation just yet.
Now he does have 100 some games to still figure it out to get to that spot, to get to that point. But he outside of him, you got him. You have Strom, who can be high leverage. And that's basically really about it. You do have other arms that have performed well so far in the bullpen that haven't necessarily hurt you, really, or costed you games too much. But I feel like none of them are really a guy that I could sit there and be like, hey, Andrew, if you give the ball to Carlos Hernandez.
Yeah, Carlos Hernandez or Joe Ross.
In the 8th inning with a runner on second and the Phillies are up by 2 runs. Do you think that he gets out of it still with a 2-run lead? Or do you think he gets out of it tied? Or do you think he gets out of that inning potentially losing the game?
I think he gives up a run. It's kind of ascertained he gives up a run in that situation.
Right, but then if I were to say to you, Alvarado's coming in that same situation, do you immediately think that Alvarado's going to give that run up?
Well, obviously, I would favor Alvarado over Hernandez.
Right, Alvarado, your first thought isn't, all right, well, he's going to give up that run. Your thought with Alvarado is, all right, he's going to put the fire out. He's going to make sure that guy on second doesn't score. Not he's only going to let that guy on second score. That's the difference between
Alvarado and Hernandez.
Yeah, between Alvarado and everyone else in the bullpen, basically, right now.
Basically.
So,
Ross, Banks.
And Banks, honestly, has been good as well, but he hasn't been used in high-leverage situations.
Yeah, he's only used in,
he's been used in blowouts.
He's a mop-up guy.
Right, so... And, sure, he has done fine so far in those mop-up roles, but also, it's really easy to pitch when you don't have to worry about how many runs you're going to give up because you have a freaking 7-run lead.
You have a 7-5 run lead.
Yeah. So, yeah, you can really pitch free and easy when you can give up another 3 runs before you get pulled from the game. So they're gonna have to figure out something. And I know that you said you would like to see a couple of guys get traded for. So I want to let you lay out who it is that you want.
Yeah, I think
to
they
see
should.
In the Phillies uniform.
Well, we talked about Ryan Helsley. I think they should grab out Ryan Helsley. the thing is the Cardinals don't like to sell. And right now they're playing really good.
Yeah, they're not going to sell yet.
They're not going to sell yet, but like
it depends how that Central Division goes.
Exactly.
You know?
If the Cubs are running away with it and the Cardinals don't have a chance, then yeah, they should sell. Because with what we just saw from Mick Abel, he's going to be the headliner in a trade package involving a reliever at Helsley.
So I do think that it definitely increases trade value, but I don't think that it completely erased all of the negative from the previous year about him. Now, whether that's fair or not, I can't really say, but I do know that there are definitely teams that will act like hasn't turned the corner yet, essentially, because
he's only had one start.
He's only had the one start. Yeah,
he's still young though.
Exactly,
he's only 23.
He's still young, and he still does have the potential. But this was a guy that used to be the number 1 prospect in the organization. That's now the number
7 prospect. So he's definitely dipped over the years in quality.
He's fallen from, the graceful prospect that he once was. So I know that he's still a former top prospect, but the way that the rest of the league sees him, at least from the perspective of at least MLB.com and the writers that write for MLB.com, is that he's still not really viewed as a true number 1 potential. He's more viewed as a number 2 or a number 3, and that limits what you're going to be able to potentially get in a return for him, especially if he's the headliner. If he's a sweetener, then you could definitely throw him in as a sweetener to a deal to get someone that would be potentially a megastar. But I
don't think they go for a megastar.
Right. If
they're not going to go for a megastar
package that's around Mick Abel, you're not going to get one of the premier guys that's probably out there at the deadline.
Yeah, you're going to have to throw in more prospects.
Yeah,
you're going to have to throw in Arun Escobar, hey, even maybe Alec Bohm, if you have to.
So
if you have to,
I mean, you definitely could throw in Alec Bohm. One thing I will say is that Otto Kemp has definitely tapered off a little bit. He's cooled a little.
Hey, I got a notification on my phone that he hit a home run today.
He did. But I don't want to say he's tapered off, because he's still performing very, very well. Even over the last 15 games and his cooling off or tapering off period, he's still hitting 315. Still has 9 doubles. Still has
which is still good stats.
Right.
For
It's
AAA.
just that he doesn't have. He hadn't hit any home runs in the previous 15 games, but he hit one today. He had struck out a lot in those previous 15 games. I think he had something close to...
Yeah, you said that his strikeout to walk ratio was pretty bad.
Strikeout to walk ratio is really, really bad. And if it's really, really bad in AAA, that's the only thing that probably the Phillies want to see an increase of, a rise in, before they actually give him a call up at some point. Because they actually don't have a full 40-man roster, and he's not even on it. So it's not even the fact that, they're not calling him up. They haven't even added him to the 40-man roster yet. And it's not like they have only one spot open. They have 38 guys on the 40-man roster. So it's not like if you add him to the 40-man, you're now taking out someone that could potentially impact the team later on down the line, like a trade candidate if you need to acquire 2 players instead of 1. You can still do that because you'll still have another open roster spot on the 40-man, but they haven't even added him to that yet. You have to get added to the 40-man before you get called up to the majors. And even though they have said things we're excited about him, Rob Thompson has said that he's one of the better prospects in the organization, or one of the better players in the organization that's at the Lehigh Valley level. The only thing that I really hear bad about him is
the strikeouts.
And, I mean, people don't say that he's a bad fielder. It's just people don't say that he's a good fielder. So
he's an average fielder.
I guess that means he's just an average fielder. And I don't know if they think that maybe he's not fast enough, or he doesn't have enough range with his fielding ability to, I'm not entirely sure what it is. He doesn't really have a defined position as of right now, but his most natural position is third base, according to, I think that was Todd Zalecki.
Or like his player profile, whatever.
Right. And he has actually gotten 2 more starts in left field ever since the last time that we talked about him, and he had the 2 previous starts in left field. So they are putting him out in left field more, but
Like they're testing him more as a utility guy.
exactly. So it's not like he's going to be someone that they really view probably as someone that they can call up who's going to play every day. So it might be someone that can platoon for you or give you a pinch hit or something along those lines. But I don't really think the Phillies view him
Yeah,
at
the
this
Phillies
point.
have too much platoon options at the
Exactly.
moment.
And they don't view him as someone that they can call up and put into an everyday role.
Because if he gets
So what's
called
the
up,
point?
what's the point of him being a platoon option than a starter?
Right, and what's the point in him being a platoon option when he could play every day in AAA? And
Exactly.
he can play every day and get better every single day. He's not... You don't want what's happening with, like, Edmundo Sosa to now happen with this kid. You know? Like, where Edmundo Sosa's playing really, really well, and he's got, like, a batting average of, like, 375 right now. But they don't trust him to be an everyday player.
Yeah,
so
he's a platoon
he
bat.
doesn't get the opportunities. I don't even think he has 100 at-bats yet on the season. So...
I will say though, he had a good game last night.
Oh, he had a phenomenal
4
game
for
last
5
night.
with a home run.
And
Saw that.
That home run got me the win in my bet, so thank you, Edmundo Sosa. I appreciate it.
How much did you make?
And only $50. It was 5 for 50.
That's not bad though. Hey, it's not like it's low risk, high reward.
Yeah, I never do anything that's like really, really high
That's
or
fair.
anything like that.
Ain't no point in wasting your money on that.
Exactly. But that was nice that Edmundo Sosa did that for me, so thank you. But speaking of last night, they really had a tough time against Kyle Freeland.
They did,
and then
yeah.
as soon as the bullpen came in, just like everything
Feel
changed.
like that happened against the Nationals.
Yeah.
And then I think Harper hit the sacrifice fly.
Yeah.
And I was
that was
like,
the only thing I think they got off Freeland, right? Just that one run.
yeah, they hit Bryce got a base hit off of Freeland, and then he got a sac fly off a bullpen guy, I think. And then I turned the
that was
game
off,
and then it was like 10:45, so I turned the game off and go to sleep.
What was that dude's last name? I think it was Beek or something along the lines for Colorado. Tim Beek or something.
Talking
like
about
that it was.
relievers?
Yeah. That he got the sacrifice fly off of. He had a strange last name, which is why I remember it.
Jake Bird?
Bird. That's what it
yeah,
was, not
Jake
Beek.
Bird.
Bird. I knew it was something to do with a bird. Thought it was Beek, but
Yeah, it was like 10:45. I turned the game off, go to sleep. So I'm
Yeah.
tired.
and then
I wake up and I see the notification, 9-3. I was like, oh, okay. So
they exploded.
they exploded as soon as I go to sleep. So
Like Schwarber had a massive home run. 466 feet was the projected distance of it.
466. That was his 300th.
Yep, that was number 300 for
300.
him. Sosa had a hell of a night. He hit a home
There's
run.
his home run.
Who-
Alec Boehm hit a home run.
Alec Boehm hit the 2-run homer, and that was to straightaway center field, too.
Yeah,
That's
hard, especially even though it's coarse. It's hard to hit.
Dude, ever
that
since
there.
I got on him for his home run thing, he's now hit
he's hit 3 home runs.
3 home runs in 2 weeks?
He's hit 3 home runs in 2 weeks. Ever since you talk trash on him after his no home runs.
Yeah, maybe I should just start talking more shit on Alec Boehm.
Now he has 3
And,
home runs.
Maybe he'll continue to just
Yeah,
prove
he's
me wrong.
definitely improved at the plate now. He's up to 260 batting average.
Yeah. Marsh is getting up there as well. He's almost up to 200 now. He's at 197.
197, and we're congratulating that.
I mean, hey, he was at 165 when he came back. So
he's still under the I don't think he's been over the Mendoza line this entire season.
No, he hasn't.
He's at 205.
Oh, he went up to 205.
He's at 205,
actually. There
yeah.
we go.
'Cause
Yeah, so he's risen his batting average by like 40 points since he came back from the
Basically,
injury.
yeah.
So
He had the game-winning RBI on Sunday.
hey, RBI ground out, but you'll take it.
Yeah, dude, you got it. And imagine if they never got that ground out, they would have lost that game on Sunday against Paul Skeens.
Yeah, potentially.
If they never got that ground out, dude, you got to feel.
They would have blown Mick Abel's great performance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Paul Skeens, dude, he deserves so much better than
I know.
trashy Pittsburgh. That was his first complete game, and you call, I guess, they say complete game.
I thought he went 8 innings.
They say complete game. It's apparently it's considered a complete game because they never had to use the bullpen.
Wait, if you go 8 innings?
If you go 8 innings away, it's a complete game.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Because he doesn't pitch in the bottom of the ninth.
No one had to pitch in the ninth inning.
Yep. So he goes
crazy.
he goes 8 innings, a complete game, 9 strikeouts.
1 run gets the loss.
1 run and gets the loss. Dude, you got to feel so bad for him.
I know.
You got to get out of Pittsburgh.
It reminds me of the one game where who was it? Pedro Martinez threw a no-hitter and lost.
Oh, yeah. I think Alex Wood threw like a perfect game to like 10 innings against the Pirates, and he lost it.
He lost the game because I think he gave up a walk-off or something like that.
Yeah, or something like that. Or it was like the Dodgers bullpen that gave up a walk-off. But yeah, dude, imagine the owner for the Pirates doesn't spend any money, and when you put a pitcher like Skeens, who is definitely in contention for the Cy Young, and you throw him on there with a offense that the offense for the Pirates sucks. I mean,
and it's strange because they do have a couple intriguing young players. I mean, they got Skeens, they got Cruz.
I mean, O'Neal Cruz is a strikeout king. I think he leads the league for like the most chase rate or something. Hold on. O'Neal Cruz, 223 batting average. Let me see. So he struck out. He went 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts on Sunday.
Mm-hmm. The golden sombrero.
Yep, golden sombrero. So right now he has 55 strikeouts. Last season he had 181 strikeouts.
Jeez. And I don't even think he played every game.
2022 he had 126 strikeouts. Yeah, 181 strikeouts in.
And how many games played?
146 games. So that's basically 90% of the season.
Yeah, but if he would have played that additional 10%, he would have had over 200 strikeouts, most likely.
I'm going to search up his chase. I'm going to search up his chase rate. So he has a chase rate of 25.3%. His career chase last season it was 31.7. Career 27.9.
Oh goodness, 31.7.
That's bad. That's
really bad.
That is really bad.
And that's basically the same.
That's like the thing with O'Neal Cruz. He's just a chaser.
That's the same problem that Otto Kemp had.
Yeah.
I mean, not really necessarily that he does chase. I think he does have a pretty high chase rate. But I think that in his player profile it says that he destroys fastballs, but he has a very tough time with curveballs. That's the thing with
O'Neal Cruz. I mean, he can hit if he makes contact with a fastball. I mean, you've seen that thing go 120 miles an hour. He can hit the ball hard. He just whenever he makes good contact,
it's just
which doesn't
making
really
good
happen.
contact for him is a struggle, And for a lot of players, it's a struggle to make that good contact consistently.
They don't really have any good hitting prospects. I mean, I think their best prospect is what? Bubba Chandler. Bubba Chandler's a pitcher.
Oh, I have no idea who their best prospect is.
Bubba Chandler is a pitcher. I think Connor Griffin they drafted last year. He looks to be promiseful, but he's still in single A. He's 19.
Yeah, and there's no way they're calling a 19-year-old.
Tamar Johnson. I mean, we haven't really seen.
No.
The Pirates haven't seen a lot of him yet.
Well, O'Neal Cruz wasn't even drafted by the Pirates, right? He was acquired in a trade.
Yeah, he was acquired in a trade by the Dodgers.
Yeah, so he's not really part of the young core of the
Pirates that they have.
Yeah,
they have Andrew McCutchen. I've always liked Kutch, but he's too old now.
Yeah, I mean he's 36 or something.
He's 36, 37.
Yeah, he's up there.
And then you got Henry Davis. And he sucks.
Yeah.
He's batting, I think I saw on the TV, 135.
Yeah, I was about to say.
That's the first overall pick in the draft.
136 or something like that?
Yeah, and that's really bad. Henry Davis has a 150 batting average through 40 at-bats. Yeah.
Jeez.
They're doing a platoon with him and Joey Bart.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I would hate to be Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
But, one thing, getting back to the Phillies. One thing that I did see, apparently they've already reached out and talked to David Robertson again.
I saw that, yeah. I saw that on Instagram. They talked to David Robertson. The talks weren't that much, but
But the fact that they even went out to talk to him
is surprising.
Dude, you've seen him here twice. You haven't brought him back either time. You're going to bring him back now just because Alvarado gets suspended?
Yeah, they need bullpen help.
Dude, you're not going to use David Robertson in the playoffs you're going to use Alvarado. There's no point in bringing an arm like that in. That's the point of calling up Max Lazard.
Before we got here, they signed Lucas Sims to a minor league contract. But
how old is he?
Somewhere in his 30s, but he pitched 13 games for the Nationals, had like a 12 ERA. No, he just has no command of any of his pitches.
Yeah, no, so nothing promising there.
Yeah, there's no substantial help within Lucas Sims, but
now there is the converted starting pitcher to the bullpen guy that they have.
What, Seth Johnson?
In the minors, Seth Johnson.
Seth Johnson.
But I have no idea. I haven't followed how his relief appearances have gone since they really converted him. I know he had 3 or 4 successful ones.
Seth Johnson.
But after those successful ones, I haven't really looked to see if he's continued with that success from the bullpen yet.
StatCast. I'm trying to. Here we go. Complete stats. It only shows his MLB stats, not his minor league stats.
I'll bring him up. See, this is why it's.
Oh,
nice.
Here we go. Minors.
Yeah, this is why it's nice to have the MILB app.
I have it right up here. So right now he's got a. Jesus. Where the hell is the ERA? 4.03.
Ooh.
4.03 in 13 games.
Does it say
29 innings, 14 runs, 13 innings. Earned. Whip of 155.
Ooh. That's a high whip.
Yeah, no, I was going to say
that's a high whip.
I was going to say that's a high whip.
Yeah, no. So that's not looking too promising right now either. So their only option right now is really to add from outside. And you have to add through a trade because there's no one out there on the free agent market.
There's no one out there on the free agent market except 90-year-old David Robertson.
Yeah, and anyone that you add on the free agent market is not going to be someone that you're going to use in a Jose Alvarado aspect during the playoffs, which is the whole point of why you need to add someone.
You need a high-end reliever.
Right,
You're not going to trust David Robertson to be a high-end reliever.
Yeah, it's not like it was
Seth Johnson.
It's not like it was Joe Ross that got suspended for 80 games.
Yeah, if Joe Ross got suspended,
then fine. Get David Robertson. Yeah, I'm sure the drop-off won't be that significant.
They can call off some guy from AAA or get David Robertson for the league minimum.
Right, that would be fine. But you can't replace...
You can't replace someone like Alvarado.
Alvarado with a player of that caliber and be like, all right, we're going to sell it to the fans. This is our guy going forward. No, dude. No. You can't.
And then I see a guy on TikTok saying 80-game suspension is too much because he's going to come back and pitch just fine. He's not able to pitch into the playoffs. 80 games is a lot.
80 games is half a season.
80 games is 50% of the season.
Yeah.
He was talking about they needed more games and talking about how he needs an A-Rod type suspension.
I mean, you could do 120 games. I'd be fine with that if they would let him pitch in the postseason.
If they let him pitch in the postseason, but they still wouldn't.
Yeah, 80 games and not being
able
to pitch
also
in the
about Alex
postseason,
Rodriguez.
Fine.
Alex Rodriguez got caught multiple times and lied about it. Went on national television, lied about it. Interviews, lied about
plus, it. Plus, Jurickson Profar just got
busted for 80 games.
He just got the same exact punishment for the first time that he got caught with it. So, why would it make any sense?
Fair with Jurickson Profar, he has years left on his contract, but.
Well, yeah, but still, why would you increase? Why? It's only been 2 to 3 months since the Jurickson Profar got suspended.
Yeah, he got suspended early in the season.
Drastic change in the suspension time in that amount, in that short amount of time. Why would it all of a sudden go from 80 to 120 for the first offense in a matter of 3 months?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I think Tatis only got suspended for 82.
Yeah, so whoever says that it's not enough,
it's clearly enough.
That's fine that that's your opinion, but by the ruling by MLB. The actual rules that people negotiated in the CBA, that is justified punishment.
Tatis got suspended for 80 games.
Yeah, I don't think you get the full 162 unless it's the second time that you get suspended, right? Or is it 120 for the second time?
I don't think A-Rod ever got suspended before that.
Yeah, I don't think he got suspended for it before that. But I think the second time is 120 games, and then if it is a third time, I believe you're kicked out of the league.
Yeah, or I think the second time is 162.
Okay, it is 162 the second time. It might be 162 for the second time. But I know that if it's 3 times, you're removed from the league. Like, they just don't let you come back.
They're not gonna let you come back after you're taking steroids all that time. I can't believe like Bonson gets suspended.
Yeah. Same with like the who was the NFL wide receiver that couldn't stop smoking pot?
Oh no!
Got banned for it literally 5 times.
I gotta search him up now.
Josh Gordon.
Yeah,
Josh
Gordon.
Josh Gordon, dude. Oh my goodness.
Yep, Josh Gordon.
Unbelievable talent, but just could not stop smoking marijuana. And got removed from the league because he couldn't stop doing it.
Particularly his cannabis use, and missed the entirety of the 15 and 16 season. Wow. Dude, he played in the XFL in 2023.
Dude, what? He did?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Says he played in the XFL.
That's crazy.
Oh, I forgot.
What a blast from the past, that man.
I know.
Oh my god.
Do you remember remember like the night before draft night, Laramie Tunsil?
Yes, he fell like 12 spots because of the gas mask
because
video.
of the gas mask.
Yeah. And then look how that turned out.
Yeah, I know.
Freaking steal of a draft pick for
all pro, like.
Yeah, who was it that originally drafted him?
I think the Texans have Laramie Tunsil. I think he got drafted by the Texans.
Yeah, but he was drafted by the Dolphins, though, wasn't he?
Oh, I think so, yeah.
I think he spent like the first 8 or 9 years with the Dolphins or
Laramie
something.
Tunsil was... Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure he was with the Dolphins. He's with the Commanders now.
Yeah, he's with the Commanders now.
Forgot he's with Washington, dude.
But...
Yeah, he was with the Dolphins.
Yeah, he was with the Dolphins, then Texans, now Washington.
Yeah, oh my god.
Well, yeah, this is a perfect segue into...
The Eagles?
The Eagles.
Oh, yeah, that offensive line is going to be scary for Washington now. Forgot they got Tunsil in the first place.
But the Eagles' full schedule came out. Now, I don't think we're going to go too in-depth with all this stuff because we still don't even know what the rosters of any of these teams are going to be just yet.
Yeah, no.
But we can go through a nice little wins and losses if you want to.
Yeah, we can do that.
So, in the document, I see that you got your stuff. Your wins and losses on the left.
I got my wins and you got your wins.
So, do you want to go through your wins, W's, and L's first, and I'll go through mine, or do you want to go through them at the same time?
We can do it at the same time.
Okay. So, for week 1 against the Cowboys, that is Thursday night.
Thursday night, first game of the season.
That's going to be a win for the Birds.
Yeah, W. I mean, come on, you're not losing to the Cowboys Thursday night, first game of the season. You're not losing to the Cowboys as
no, they're not going to lose.
Super Bowl champion. It's not happening.
Plus, the Cowboys are still not anywhere close to being a team that.
I mean, they'll have Dak. They'll have Dak back. Dak.
Dude, you have the highest paid quarterback in the entire league. That's like. What, 15th quarterback?
I think the highest paid now
overall?
is Purdy.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, he got a $270 million contract.
San Francisco is going to regret that contract.
Oh, yeah.
It's another Dak Prescott situation where you're paying some guy that performed like maybe some guy that was like a number 8 or 7 quarterback. Like he performed like the number 1 quarterback. Like, no. Like,
what's he going to do? Like, he doesn't have Deebo Samuel anymore. Brandon Ayuk had a terrible season. All he's got basically is Kittle.
I do like Pearsall. I do like the. He's a second-year player. He's the guy that got shot last year.
Oh yeah.
Remember he missed like the first I think 7 or 8 games because he was recovering from the gunshot wound, which horrible thing to happen to him. By the way, like
the fact that he came back after a gunshot.
Did you see like the actual story?
No.
He was in training camp and he was like walking home to his apartment and like got robbed and shot.
What the fuck?
Like, yeah, he got like robbed at gunpoint and shot.
Jesus.
Yeah, like dude almost like the guy that robbed him almost killed him. Like he shot him in the chest.
It's a miracle that he survived.
Yeah, I think they like, your heart is like right here.
Yeah.
I think they said it like basically went right through like the middle of his chest.
Wow.
So like luckily they're. Right through the middle of your chest is nothing.
That's impressive.
Like there's like your lungs are right here, the heart's here. I think there's something that's like right here, like down where like your chest and your stomach meet. But like right in the middle of like your rib cage is like nothing.
Just
like
bone?
It's just cartilage and like
that's impressive.
So
lucky he survived.
I do think he had like some type of lung issue with it. As I think it may have like punctured his lung, or it may have went into his lung or something. But that was like the extent of like the issue though, was just just that.
Oh, no, Dak is still the highest paid QB.
Yeah, which is ridiculous. He's making like $50 million against the Cat, which is like,
he's making
dude,
$60 million.
Dude, he's making $60 million against the Cat?
Yeah, he's making $60 million.
The cap is what, $225 million? So this man is making one
fourth of the cap.
In between 1/4 and 1/3 of the cap. Is Dak Prescott really worth that much money?
Okay, who's next? Allen 55. That's probably worth it. Burrow at 55. Lawrence at 55.
Dude, Trevor Lawrence is at 55? He's more paid than Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts.
You're right. Holy shit.
Dude, what?
Love at 55. Tua at 53.1.
Tua's at 53.
Oh, God.
What are people doing?
You're going to hear this. Goff at 53. Oh.
Yo, what are people
Goff
doing?
At 53, dude. Okay, Purdy at 53, which is ass. Herbert at 52.5. Lamar at 52.
Herbert's at 52.5 for a man that's never won a freaking playoff game?
Holy. Oh, God.
For a man that's never won a playoff game, he's getting 52 mil. He's gone to the playoffs 3 times, has lost all 3. $52 million is his reward?
I guess so.
Dude, this is...
Hurts is 51.
All of them are higher paid than Hurts, who literally won a Super Bowl.
He literally went to 2 Super Bowls.
Dude, what is wrong with so many of these teams and how they spend their money in the league? Like, it blows my mind how stupid these people are with their money.
Hurts has the best Super Bowl record out of everybody here. Lamar has 2 MVPs and still doesn't make enough. Still makes less than Trevor Lawrence.
Dude, that's insane.
That's insane.
The fact that all of those players make more than Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, and Lamar Jackson is insane. Dude, what?
Dude, the market is so bad.
What? Dak Prescott, Trevor Lawrence, Tua Tagovailoa, Jared Goff.
Jared Goff is the funniest one, too, because if he didn't have good receivers, he would suck everywhere else.
And Justin Herbert are all paid more than Jalen, Patrick, and Lamar.
Patrick Mahomes isn't even on that list.
That is laughable.
That is really that is laughable when you think about it.
Like,
I think, what was it, like the year they went like 2-15 or something like that. He had no. It's because he doesn't have a good receiver, a good line. If he's got built around by a super team that the Lions have created with, like Amon-Ra St. Brown, and who else do they have? Jamison Williams, and I'm trying to think. They have another wide receiver.
I mean, you got the tandem of Montgomery and Gibbs.
Yeah, Montgomery and Gibbs, so you can obviously throw to them. Yeah,
Khalif Raymond, I believe, was the other guy. That was another big receiver for Detroit. Tim Patrick, dude, was on Detroit.
Yeah, I'm a roster wide receiver 1.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
But all right, here, let's get back on track.
That's fine.
Week 2. It's gonna be Eagles against the Chiefs.
All right, at the Chiefs Super Bowl rematch,
and this is in Kansas City. I think that maybe they come out a little bit of a lackluster performance.
No,
and they
take
win.
the L.
I think they might lose this game.
They started the season 2-0. All right, last time the Eagles played the Chiefs at Kansas City, Week 2, what happened? They won the Super Bowl.
Yes, and the last time that they did play the Kansas City Chiefs, they did beat them pretty bad, pretty convincingly. But I mean, Kansas City
will be Kansas City.
But do I really think now? Because now that I'm sitting here really thinking about it, do I really think that the Eagles are going to lose this game?
I think they're going to win.
Travis Kelce's going to be another year older.
Let's switch the odds real quick. Let's switch the venues. If it's home, if the game is home, do you think they win?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
If the game is home, Eagles win that game, and they probably win it by a touchdown.
Okay.
But I just think that maybe first road game might be a bit sloppy, miscommunication.
Yeah, I feel like that always tends to happen early in the Eagles season.
Exactly. And historically I don't want to say historically, but the last couple of seasons, their first week on the road has not been a good performance. First week on the road last year, Tampa Bay. What happened?
Oh, yeah, that was pathetic.
Previous year before that, their first week on the road was week 3 against the Saints. And Saints were awful that year. And they barely won that game, 18-16.
Yeah, because Saquon had that touchdown late.
So, like, I think that it might just be one of those types of games where it's kind of like a clunker
just
game.
Sloppy.
Yeah.
Back and forth.
Where the Eagles just don't have it. Like, I don't know what it is. I just don't. I could see that because there's going to be one of those games in the first 4. One of those is going to be a game where there's some miscommunication, people aren't on the same page, because you still got people that are figuring out Vic Fangio defense, the fact that you had 7 players all leave.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people.
They're not going to go,
especially the new starters.
They're not going to go 4-0 in the first 4 games.
No, they
won't.
With
7 new, basically defensive starters or defensive key rotational players.
That's fine. Get the loss out of the way.
So I think they take that L against the Chiefs in week 2. First
I think they
game.
Win. So
right. So we differ a little bit there.
Yeah.
So you have them at 2-0, and I got them at 1-1 through week 2.
All right.
So then week 3, home against the Rams, rematch, NFC Championship game.
No, that was divisional.
Oh, that wasn't the championship?
Yeah, no, they played Washington in the championship.
Oh, yeah, that was the divisional. Yeah, I'm forgetting. Wow, that's crazy. But
W for the Eagles.
Yeah, I think that's a W for the Eagles.
W.
Rams have been talking a lot about, if there wasn't any snow, we would have won that game, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
I think
they're used to playing in a dome.
I think the Eagles come out and shut them up, where it's like, guess what? There was no snow that game, and we still beat you by 13.
Yeah, so, the Eagles will cruise to that victory.
Now, I don't think that they're going to really beat up on teams the way that they did last year, because I feel like last year a lot of these games were over.
Considering the schedule.
Before the fourth quarter.
Considering the schedule is hard.
Yeah.
More harder this year. I think it's the 4th hardest schedule in the league.
Yeah, so they're going to have a lot more close games this year. And I think the Rams might be one of those rare ones that we see this season where the Eagles run away with it, and they run away with it in the 3rd quarter.
Okay. That's fair enough.
Yeah.
You got to get one out of the way. All right.
Now, next week, week 4, it's against the Buccaneers. Once again, this is in Tampa.
In Tampa? Yeah. I say loss.
Historically, they do not play well in Tampa. But I think that the Eagles actually win this game with the fact that they should be kind of polished, hopefully, by week 4. I definitely don't trust Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, I just think some mental mistakes might just happen in that game.
He's going to make a turnover or 2.
Yeah.
It's just inevitable that even though Baker Mayfield might throw for 500 yards, he probably will also turn the ball over at least twice. That's just the curse and the greatness of Baker Mayfield, because I don't want to sit here and make people think that I don't think that Baker Mayfield is good, because he actually is a pretty decent quarterback, I would say. He's a top 15 quarterback, I would say, in the NFL. I'd rather have him, I think, than Jared Goff.
Wow. I mean, they're. I feel like they're on the same skill level.
I feel like they are, but I think Baker can do more. I feel like you can do more with Baker than you can do with Jared Goff. Baker can actually leave the pocket. He can throw on the run. He can potentially scramble and get you some yards. He's
I don't see that a lot from
tough
Goff.
And gritty, and will give you your team that edge, that whatever it is, so. But I do think that the Eagles will win that game, and it's going to be close. That's going to be a close game. Probably going to be hot.
Oh, definitely. If we're still talking about September in Tampa, it's going to be hot.
It's going to be hot, but I think that it's not going to be as hot as the previous game they played in Tampa. Temperature on the field for that game was 100 degrees or close to it?
Something like that.
It was 98 or something ridiculous.
Yeah, it still gets hot down there, even in October.
But I do it's probably not going to be that hot again. If it was that hot again, that would be insane.
Yeah, Jesus, but
I think that they will come out of this week in Tampa Bay looking much better than how they came out of Tampa Bay last season, and they come out with the win. So,
all right.
Through week 4, we both have them at 3-1.
Yeah, right now we're at 3-1.
And week 5 is going to be at home against Denver. Now,
I think that's going to be a win, but it'll be close.
I think that's a win as well. Don't really think that Denver has enough to get past the Eagles.
I say Denver It'll be close. Denver definitely
They're a nice up and coming team.
is improving.
They're not there yet, I don't think.
From what they used to be. Yeah, they've definitely improved.
Oh yeah. And then we got week 6 at the Giants. That's a
Thursday
loss.
night. Wow, you say that's a loss?
Yep.
To the Giants. Come on, man.
Because they always split with the Giants.
No, they don't. I don't know, when was the last time they lost to the Giants? Week 18 when they went
I think it was 20. Wasn't it the first time they played them in 22?
No,
Because they won that Christmas Day game.
They won the Christmas Day game, and then Week 18 they lost. That was in 23.
Mm-hmm.
That was the last time they lost to the Giants. The Eagles are not losing to the Giants.
You're not gonna go 6-0 against your division. You're
not gonna go 6-0 against your division. You're gonna go 2-0 against the shitty Giants.
Well, who do you see their loss coming from?
From who?
Because they're not gonna. I think that their divisional record's gonna end up being 4-2.
4-2.
Yeah, they're gonna beat Cowboys both games. They're going to lose to the Giants one, lose to the Commanders.
I think they're gonna lose to the Commanders at least once. 5-1 division record.
So then
They sweep the Cowboys. They sweep the Giants. I'm not worried about the Giants.
I'm not really worried about the Giants either. I just think that Eagles could potentially think that
They're walking into like a free win.
Yeah, and it might not be. Like, hey, New York might actually be ready to play today. But I have them losing that game. You have them win. All right. So
5-1 versus 4-2.
Yep.
Okay.
Now, week 7, the Vikings is in Minnesota.
I have them losing.
You have them losing that game.
Yep.
I have them winning that game. Because, honestly, I don't believe in J.J. McCarthy.
I feel like the Eagles haven't played well in Minnesota.
I mean, they went up to Minnesota to beat them to go to the Super Bowl in 22.
They did? Oh, I don't remember that. Oh, no, they played at home. Yeah, I remember they played at home.
They played at home?
Yeah, they played
did?
at home in Minnesota in 22.
Really? I thought they went up to Minnesota. I thought they
No,
were away
they played.
for that game.
They played at home.
They were?
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, okay.
I remember because that's when Darius Slay couldn't. That's when Justin Jefferson could not get anything off of Darius Slay.
Well, I thought everyone was making a big deal about it because they were. Oh, that's because the next week the Super Bowl was in Minneapolis. That's why.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's what it was. Okay, but yeah. So I mean, they're gonna be playing in a dome, so it's not like they're gonna really have to worry about the cold,
the weather or anything like that. So,
but I just don't believe that J.J. McCarthy's got it, and also, you know, the record of Vic Fangio against rookie quarterbacks in the NFL. J.J. McCarthy is basically a rookie. He literally played 0 games last year.
He's a rookie. He's technically a rookie.
So he's a rookie, and I think Vic Fangio's record of handling rookies pretty easily, stands firm for that game, and they win. So now we both have them at 5-2.
5-2. Yep.
So now heading into week 8, we got them both winning against the Giants because we've both said that,
it's the Giants.
Yep.
What do you expect?
So now week 9 is their bye week.
Week 9, yep. So week 10 is
away against the Packers.
Against the Packers. Yeah, that's a Monday night game, and I have them winning.
I have them losing that game. The 2 games against the Packers last year were very close.
Oh yeah, the playoff game.
It was not close for the first 2 quarters, and then Green Bay ended up making it a little bit interesting at the end. But
the regular season game, though,
was really close.
Yeah, it was definitely closer than it should have been.
And I just think that you got the Lions coming up next week. All the talk last year was about, Eagles and the Lions are the 2 best teams. People were saying that if Detroit was healthy, they would beat the Eagles. Everyone from the Eagles was saying that we would beat Detroit no matter if they were healthy or not. Amon-Ra's, St. Brown.
And they had a healthy Detroit loss to Washington.
Right, but they came out and said, we want the Eagles on opening night. Amon-Ra, St. Brown came up.
Yeah, they talked all that trash.
In the offseason was we want the Eagles on opening night. So I think that maybe Eagles are kind of looking ahead to that game a little bit. Not that they've really shown that they have done that, really in under Nick Sirianni. I feel like they haven't really had one of those games where there's been a big game the next week and they play shitty the week before. So
yeah, unless it's like a game where you're going to rush your starters.
Right. So like I don't really think there's going to be that going on, but I do think that players aren't going to be as up for it in the Packers, like at Lambeau in the snow. It's going to be middle of the season at this point, so it's going to be December.
It's going to be a good game.
It's probably going to be windy.
It'll be a close one. All these the games against the good teams will be decided by
probably 3 points or fewer, I assume. But I do think that they take the loss in that game against the Packers.
I have them winning.
So then you have them at 6-2. I've got them at 5-3.
Okay.
So now we head into week 11. That's against the Lions, and that's at home. So I have them winning that game.
I think I have them winning as well.
Yeah, you have them winning that game as well. And I think that the Eagles will win that game pretty convincingly as well. I think that's another game this season that you're going to see them probably run away with it in the third quarter.
Yeah, Lions Sunday night.
Mm-hmm. They're going to be
at
up
home
for
too.
it. They're going to be ready. They're going to be pumped. And I think that they come out and like punch them in the mouth, and Detroit is like not expecting it.
Yeah, Detroit won't be ready for the atmosphere, especially with Amon-Ra talking all that shit.
Exactly. So then week 12, we got the Cowboys.
Yeah, I got them beating the Cowboys.
At the Cowboys.
The Eagles don't typically do well at the Cowboys, but...
And I got them losing this game.
I have them winning.
So you now have them at what? You have them at 7-3? Or
I got them at 8-3 or something like that.
Yes, I think 7-2 right now you have them at. And for me, with that loss, that brings mine to what? 6-3?
Something like that. I think mine's like here. Hold on. To 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Oh no! So that brings me to actually 6-4.
I'm at 9-2.
So I'm at 6-4.
Dude, I'm 9-2.
And then we got week 12 against the Bears, which
week 13.
Oh yeah, week 13.
Week 13's on Black Friday.
Which that's a dub.
Yeah, the Bears.
Oh yeah, that's a dub against the Bears.
Oh, we're really talking about a competition with the Bears, man.
I know. Like they might put up a little bit of a fight, but I think the Eagles will also win that game by probably more than 3 points. Probably a touchdown.
Probably 2 to 3 scores, I'm assuming.
I feel like the Bears might potentially surprise some people this year with how much they've improved.
I don't expect the Bears to be anything.
My only thing is they got Ben Johnson.
Yeah, he's going to be a good head coach.
And he was able to make Jared Goff look like a sparkling quarterback. So imagine what he's able to do with Caleb Williams.
Yeah,
you know?
they got to work on that offensive line too.
So I do expect that the Bears are going to actually be a pretty good team this year. But I don't think they're going to...
If they can fix that offensive line, then...
So week 14, away at the Chargers. We both got that as a dub.
I got that as a W.
Mm-hmm. And then we got against the Raiders. Raiders are a joke. That's going to be a dub.
Yep, W.
We got in Washington against the Commanders.
In Washington, I got a loss. I feel like they're going to lose at least 1 to Washington.
And I also have them taking the L to Washington. So through 16 games, that puts your record at what? 11-4?
No, 12-3.
Okay, yeah, 12-3.
12-3.
And then for me, through 16 games, I got them at...
You got them at...
I think...
10-5. 10-5.
Yeah, 10-5.
10-5. Okay.
And then we differ here. I think they win against the Bills in Buffalo.
I think they lose.
For a tough victory.
It just depends if the Bills are going to be playing their starters or not. It just all comes down just because it's so late into the season.
I think both teams will be playing their starters.
I think so too, especially if if they're still competing for either a bye or a division title.
Yeah.
They're still going to play their starters.
But I have them winning that week. You got them losing. So that puts your record at what? 12-4?
12-4.
And then that puts me at 11-5.
11-5. And now one more game against Washington.
And we both have them winning.
Winning. So My final record 13-4, and your final record 12-5.
Yeah, so we're both right around the same ballpark of wins. And
I think they'll win the East.
I was about to say, I think they win the East with the 12-5 record.
I think 12-5 is good enough to win the East.
I think so as well.
It might not guarantee you a bye, but
I don't know if they're going to get the bye.
it guarantees you a home playoff game.
They're definitely going to get, I believe, probably second seed.
That's fine. And
Second
were
or third.
They were second seed last year.
Yeah, I think they'll be 2 or 3 this year. I think the schedule is way too hard for them to be number 1.
Yeah,
Just
with the
'cause-
opponents they play,
Yeah.
and how the other teams favor.
I mean, some other team is probably going to end up going to go in 13-4, probably, to
Probably.
get number 1.
Especially how
And-
stacked the NFC is.
Yeah, even if the Eagles go 13-4 with the strength of schedule that they got, although the tiebreaker usually goes to the divisional record, right?
Yeah, the tiebreaker will go to the divisional record.
Yeah, so I guess that it would all depend on how they perform against the people in the division. But, I mean, they could still potentially get a number 1. I just don't see them getting number 1 this year. Not with all the defensive players they had leave, not with the strength of schedule they have. Some other team is probably going to be the number 1. I don't know if it's going to be Detroit again, but
Fair enough.
I could see it being Detroit or potentially Green Bay. Green Bay came out of nowhere last year and surprised everyone, finishing at what?
Yeah, I could
Like
see
11.
I could see 3 out of those 4 NFC North teams in the playoffs again.
Yeah.
I can definitely see that happening.
So, oh yeah, and then another thing for Eagles news, picking Joe Douglas back, taking Joe Douglas back from the Jets.
Yeah, he did such a shit job with the Jets.
I know.
Came back to a winning organization.
So he's not coming back in really like a decision-making role or anything. He's just coming back as a head scout. I mean, he'll be fine here.
Yeah, I don't have a problem.
He knows
with
how
that.
the team operates. And
Exactly.
last time he was here, the team was pretty good. So, but outside of that, we don't really got anything else for the Eagles.
No,
So
just
time
the
to
schedule.
transition from football to football.
Football to football.
Talk about the Union for a little bit. So the Union won both of their matches since we last spoke. So their first match, they won 3-2 against the Galaxy, who, I feel bad for the Galaxy, still do not have a win.
They don't have a
all
win yet?
season.
Wow.
Nope.
Yeah, I saw they gave up like 2 goals in injury time and they lost.
Yeah, and Ty Baribo gets 2 goals in that game, and Ty Baribo gets the winning goal in the game against Atlanta, 1-0. So he now has 11 goals on the season to lead the Golden Boot race, which is kind of insane. He's already 2 goals ahead of whoever's in second place. Who was that? Christian Arango. And Christian Arango's got 9 goals.
Yeah, right now they're tied for first place.
Oh, he
with
must have had...
Cincinnati.
Oh, yes. They are tied for first place
with Cincinnati at 29.
But they are ahead on goal differential. And it's actually like a pretty big difference. I think they're like plus 14 to FC Cincinnati's like plus 3 or something like that. So even though they have the same amount of points, that goal differential is making it look like the Union are really like the better team.
Yeah.
The fact that they are scoring a lot more goals and not conceding as many. Now, they also have the, I believe, number 1, they're in first place in the MLS overall. So they're actually at the top right now for the Supporter Shield. It was previously Vancouver out in the West, but they have now pulled ahead by 1 point with Vancouver. So if they get the Supporter Shield, they are guaranteed to qualify for the CONCACAF Champions League. So, like, the ways that you can qualify for CONCACAF is you can either win the U.S. Open Cup,
or you win the league or something.
win the league, win the Supporter Shield, or there's another there's something else as well that you can win to get in, another like tournament type thing. And then I believe whoever is first place in the opposing conference of whoever won also gets a place in CONCACAF. So like let's say like the West team won, I think whoever played against them for the East will also go to CONCACAF.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I think they have 5 spots that go to the CONCACAF Champions League. as well. I think Mexico also has like 5 spots, and then the other countries I'm pretty sure is like only like 2, and then like 1 in certain circumstances. Like I think Puerto Rico's got like 2, Honduras has like 2, but like others like I think like
Yeah, it's all
El Salvador has
North
like
American
1.
countries.
Yeah.
North and South
CONCACAF is
American.
all North America and the Caribbean.
Okay.
So that's like Jamaica, so it's the people that win those leagues that end up coming to the CONCACAF Champions League. And I don't think the MLS has ever had a team win it. The MLS has never had a team win the CONCACAF Champions
That's
League.
surprising. 'Cause I'm assuming they're probably like one of the biggest leagues
Yeah.
that are part of it, besides like Liga MX.
Yeah, I believe Mexico has won it the most, obviously. I think that Puerto Rico has won it a couple of times, like a Puerto Rican team. A couple of Panamanian teams have won it before. There's been a couple of different, but most of the time it's a Mexican team that wins. Usually,
Fair enough.
It's a Liga MX team that usually wins, but it would be nice to see them qualify for CONCACAF because I don't think they've played in it since 2022 when they won the Supporter Shield. So it would be nice to see them get back after a couple of years being away from it, and plus it would be really nice to see someone like Kevin Sullivan, who would be a year older at that point, performing at that stage.
That's a national competition.
Right, exactly. Performing at that stage for the United States. Like, he's going to be someone that's going to be part of probably the 2026 World Cup team. It would be nice to get to see him in CONCACAF before the World Cup, just to see how his game transitions from being just a regular domestic league to an international league, So excited.
Yeah, dude. Speaking
for
of
what the union have been doing.
Yeah, speaking of international,
My team.
Yeah, your Crystal Palace is gonna play Europa League football.
So it is the first time they've ever won the Emirates FA Cup. It is also the first major trophy
that's the first trophy they have ever won in their history.
Yeah, first major trophy that they've ever won in their 120 years of being a club.
Which is insane.
Which is freaking nuts. And out of those 120 years, they've spent about 80 of them in the top flight, the first division. So all those years in the top division, never won it. Never won a trophy in any of the competitions. Not the Carabao Cup, not the Emirates FA Cup,
not the League or
the League Cup, nothing. First time they're competing in European competition ever as a club, which is also insane. So, obviously I'm very much so looking forward to that. Now, I don't know if that means that they're going to lose the same players that they were probably going to sell off. I think that they are going to anyway.
Who do you think they're going to sell off?
So, the 2 names that I keep seeing as people that are going to get sold off is center back Mark Gahey.
Gahey. What, Eze? You said Eze.
Yeah, and Eberechi Eze are the 2 big names.
Mateta?
Mateta, I haven't seen anything about him going. I believe that he is going to stay by all measures of things that I've seen. I have seen that there's a couple of teams interested, but I don't think that Mateta necessarily wants to leave.
Okay, well he still has he still has value.
Yeah.
So keep him while he's there.
Gahey is someone that wants to leave. He's someone that wants to move to a bigger club that's going to be able to pay him more money.
Don't they get funds, or they'll have
so they do.
Yeah, they'll get funds.
Yeah.
And they'll be able to bring in more players now because they'd be like, oh, we're playing in a European competition. Come play for us.
And I was thinking, maybe if they're playing in European competition, then they won't sell off the guys that, they should really keep to help them in European competition. But I've seen that they're probably still going to sell Mark Gahey and Eberechi Eze and
they could probably make a lot from Eze.
Yeah, use the money from that to bring in more quality players to the team. So basically they're going to take the addition by subtraction method where they subtract 2 of their best players from their team to maybe bring in 5 or 6 really good players, or bring in 4 or 5 really good players and then 2 rotational pieces. because you're going to need depth to play in European competition, which they have a pretty strong starting 11, I would say, where I would be comfortable with them potentially at least making it past the round robin stage and into the knockout stages.
Into the knockouts, okay. It just depends who's going to be in their group.
Right. And plus they don't have the type of team where they can kind of roll out a team 2 games a week and still have it be the same quality of players in both of those games. You know what I mean?
I'm about to see which teams are qualified. Okay, so Man United and Tottenham are in the final. So that's going to be
the loser will
show. Yeah, the loser will play Champions League.
No, the winner plays Champions League.
The winner plays Champions League.
Loser will play Europa League next year.
Yeah, so that's going to be the battle of freaking mid.
And then whoever gets 6th place will also make the Europa League.
This is qualifying. Ajax, some teams I don't know, Molde, Besiktas.
So, Ajax is
Panathinaiko, Braga. Ajax is Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Besiktas is Turkey. Panathinaikos.
That's Greece.
That's Greece. Yeah.
Yep.
Shamrock Rovers versus Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
What else is on here?
What was the second team that you said? Besiktas?
Besiktas. That's Turkey.
Oh, okay. I assume probably Young Boys is somewhere in there. Young Boys is
probably champions. Yeah, Young Boys is UCL.
Oh, wow. They're in the champions?
Yeah.
Good for them.
Who's in? This is qualifying. This is before
this is before, yeah.
This is qualifying. Lille.
That's French.
Yeah, Dinamo Zagreb is Croatia. Kyiv is Ukraine.
Yep.
Rangers.
Antwerp. That's
Ireland. Who else is in here? Galatasaray.
I think that's Turkish, right?
Yeah, Galatasaray is Turkish.
Mm-hmm.
Red Star Belgrade, was that Russia, I think?
Belgrade. Red Star is, I believe, Turkish as well.
I think Red Star is Russia.
Are they?
Red Star is... Oh, Serbia.
Serbia. That's what they are.
Oh, Serbia, dude.
I assume that either Slavia Praha or Slavia... one of the Slavia teams is usually in there. Slavia Praha and Slavia Prague.
Yeah, Slavia Prague was in there, I saw.
Yeah, if you were to take the Crystal Palace starting 11 right now and place them against one of those teams, I think that they could come out with a win or a draw pretty easily.
Or at least give a quality for 90 minutes or whatever.
But I don't think that they could do that and then turn around and play... I don't think they could do that on Tuesday or on Wednesday and then play a league game in the Premier League on Saturday with the same strength of squad.
Yeah,
you know?
That's what I feel like. That's what happens to most clubs.
Yeah.
They take a dip in their performance in the league table because they're so focused
yeah.
on European competition.
So they're definitely going to have to bring in depth. They just don't have
definitely need depth
required depth. If they want to be taken seriously, at least in European competition, and they want this to just be more than probably a 1-year thing, then they need a lot of depth.
Because especially if they perform well, too.
Yeah, if they perform well. Think if you place, I believe, top 4 in Europa League, you qualify for Europa League next year, and then if you win, you move into the Champions League.
Obviously, so.
So, I mean, if they're able to get to a semifinal, potentially, which I don't really know if that's going to happen, that means that they would have to beat the likes of a City or something like that again to get to there.
If City even makes it.
But, I mean, they proved that they could do it once to get to, European competition in the first place.
What's the Premier League
they
table?
Can do it again.
What's the Premier League table looking like? Liverpool and Arsenal qualified.
I think Newcastle is
third, Chelsea 4th, Villa 5th, City 6th, Forest 7th.
So City and Forest are tied.
They're tied for 65.
And those are the only two, I believe, that can get the last Europa League spot.
I saw this on ESPN. So 9 English teams will play European competition.
Yeah.
So you have 1 through 5, and if Newcastle stays third and they get the Champions League, because they have Conference League.
Right, they won the Carabao Cup,
yeah,
right?
they won the League Cup.
Yeah.
So if they somehow drop all the way to 7, all right, they get Conference League. But
I don't think it's possible for them to drop that low.
I don't think either. But if they somehow make it to... If they keep their Champions League spot, then they will play
in the Champions League.
They will play in the Champions League in
UCL spot gets forfeited to
the Conference League will go to 7th.
Right.
So right
and
now that would be Forest. Forest, yeah.
With that potentially being able to be City as
Potentially,
well.
yeah.
It all depends on. I think there's only 2 games left. It all depends on how the last 2 games of the season
go.
So
how?
And I don't believe that either City or Forest can move into number 5. I don't believe that either of them
Villa's
can
at
move into the 5th
Villa,
spot.
Newcastle, Chelsea, Villa, all at 66. City and Forest 65.
Oh, okay. So no, they potentially could move into.
So it's going to be some drama at
Yeah.
the end of the season.
But is it everyone after Forest couldn't potentially qualify? Is that what it is? Like everyone underneath Forest?
Yeah,
is
Brighton's
too far away.
58.
Yeah. They're
Brentford's
too far away.
55. No.
Yeah.
So these are the last teams. So it's Newcastle, Chelsea, Villa, City, Forest. So they're all in qualification for the moment.
Which is absolutely crazy that there's going to be that many teams.
So hopefully it'll be from
the Premier League.
It'll be a good final weekend.
So here are the teams that are for sure going to be in it. So we know that
Newcastle, Arsenal.
Liverpool is going to be Champions League.
Oh, no, Newcastle. Liverpool and Arsenal.
Arsenal is going to be Champions League. Newcastle,
Crystal
Palace, Chelsea, Aston Villa.
City.
Right now
are
slated for Europa League. And then if Newcastle and Chelsea and Villa are all slated for Champions League. And then Palace and right now City are slated for Europa League. And then if Newcastle stays in that Champions League spot, then that means Forest would move into the Europa Conference League. So that would put 7 teams. And then you have the winner of Manchester United and Tottenham,
so
who will
8
be in
teams.
the Champions League.
Yep.
And then the runner-up will be in the Europa League.
So that's 9
teams.
Dude.
That's an insane amount of teams.
That's crazy.
From one league competing in European competition. Like, that's why the Premier League is regarded as the best league in the world.
Literally, yeah.
Because there ain't no other league that produces that many quality teams, like, that can play in a continental competition like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
which
it's
is crazy. Which is crazy. So, dude, I'm looking at the table. I didn't realize Southampton had 12 points.
Dude, it's hard to pick up points in the Premier League.
I know, especially when you. I swear, like the teams cannot. They cannot.
The Premier League has become so strong that for any team coming up, it's almost impossible.
Yeah, they
for them
cannot
to stay in the league.
seem to stay up. I swear.
The last team that came up and stayed up was Nottingham Forest.
Forest.
And the only reason you do know the only reason they were able to do that is because they were bought by new owners, right?
Yeah.
So the new owners came in and spent a shit ton of fucking money.
Forest, Bournemouth, and Fulham.
Like all these other teams that get promoted up, unless they're gonna get bought by like some other owner that's gonna sink a massive amount of money into these teams, they have basically no chance of staying in the Premier League.
They have Aaron Ramsdale.
It's sad. Like,
oh, dude,
you know how many times I've seen Norwich get promoted after like going undefeated in like the
It's insane. Hold on, what's I'm about to search up the table for the championship.
Like Norwich literally went undefeated one year in the championship, in the English League Championship.
Dude, Leeds United and Burnley have 100 points.
Yeah, like dude, there are teams that lose like 3 games in the championship that come up to the Premier League and win only 3 games.
Which is crazy.
That's ridiculous. Like, I don't think there's any other league that's like that.
Sheffield's at 90, Sunderland's at 76, Coventry's at 69, Bristol's at 68.
Like, I feel like most of the leagues where there's promotions and relegations, like, at least the other teams that get promoted have a decent chance to stay in the league.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, too. Like,
if you were to look at, like, the Bundesliga, probably, there's probably at least one team that stays every year that gets promoted, I would assume. And is up for 3, 4, 5 seasons before going back down again. It's not.
Do you remember Luton?
Yeah, Luton Town.
Luton's
probably in League 3 now.
22nd. They were in the league last year. Now they're about to get relegated.
They're about to get relegated. Yeah.
No, they're tied with Hull.
That is how quickly
Derby,
it can change, dude.
They're still that race hasn't ended yet.
Well, you know what's crazy? So, AFC Wimbledon, right, was a team that was in the Premier League, I believe. Last time they were in the Premier League was 1998 to 1999. They are now a League 5 team.
Yeah, Wimbledon has been. They just got.
Like,
I don't know what happened.
Which is insane. Like, so 25 years ago, they were in the top division, and now they're considered a semi-professional team. They're not even in a professional league. Like, they're not in the league that's considered the professional league. They're in the semi-pro league.
AFC Wimbledon. Searching it up.
Which is absolutely insane.
Oh, wow. They are in Football League 2.
Oh, okay. So
they're 5th place in Football League 2.
Okay, so they actually got promoted since the last time that I checked.
Yeah.
So, like, that's like, oh, this is how I was going to tie it in. AFC Wimbledon is one of the only teams that's in Europe that's a fan-owned team.
Yeah. That's like how it is in Germany, really.
Yeah. So, like, it's kind of like how it is with the Green Bay Packers. How the fans are the owners of the Green Bay Packers, essentially. The fans are the majority owners of Green Bay Packers. Like, Green Bay can't move out of the city because the fans would never allow
Wimbledon
it.
team,
Like,
that MK Dons, that's what it was.
oh, yeah, I think they're probably in, League 1?
They're in League 2.
Oh, they're in League 2 as well?
They're down there.
Yeah, there have been a couple of teams that have gotten promoted. Where's Coventry? Where's Coventry
I think
now?
Coventry was in the championship.
Are they still in the championship?
Yeah. Coventry is... Yeah, they're 5th place. Yeah, Haji Wright's on their team.
Oh, they have Haji
yeah,
Wright?
they have Haji Wright.
No way. That's crazy. I had no idea.
Oh, their
they had
manager
Haji
is Lamps.
Wright. Wait, what?
Yeah, their manager is Lamps. Frank Lampard.
No way.
Yeah.
Frank Lampard's their manager?
Yeah.
Dude,
What
what?
the hell? Yeah,
That's crazy.
I never knew this.
Where did Jesse Marsh end up, dude? The guy that used to be Leeds? The Leeds coach that promoted
Jesse
them?
Marsh. How do you spell that last
I
name?
think it's Marsch.
MS. Oh, here it is. Jesse Marsh. Oh, he coaches Canada.
The national team?
Yeah, the national team.
What?
Yeah, since 24.
So he left Leeds to be the Canada national team?
I guess, yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I did not know that.
Teams coach Leipzig, Salzburg, Leeds
Mhm.
United. Who's Leeds coach now?
I have no idea who Leeds'
I don't
coach
know
now
who this guy is. Daniel Fark.
Oh, that dude?
I don't know who
He
this
was,
is.
I think he was manager of...
Oh, he was Dortmund.
Yeah.
Dortmund 2.
Yeah.
It says Dortmund 2, Norwich, Mönchengladbach.
Yes. Mönchengladbach. That's another German team. They're actually pretty good. Mönchengladbach.
Mönchengladbach is 10th in Bundesliga. All right, well, the league's been over.
I think for a week
Yeah,
already.
it's been a couple of weeks. Harry Kane got that trophy.
But I think that it's probably time for us to move on to another international game. The NBA.
Yeah, the NBA.
So you read this, so I'll let you.
Yeah, so I read this
world.
from Instagram, and it said that the Sixers were looking to get KD from Phoenix, Lauri Markkanen from Utah, the number 5 pick, which sends number 3, and Paul George to, God, I don't know where, but the Sixers will trade down, but they'll get 2 players. They're not only trading down by 2 spots. But then Daryl Morey went on 97.5, and I think he went on a podcast, and he was like, oh, we're going to keep the pick.
Yeah, so he went on with Mike Missinelli.
Yeah, he went on, yeah, and he said they're keeping the pick.
And
he said they're comfortable with
keeping the pick.
The selection that they have at number 3.
I honestly think that's the best course of action is for them to just keep the pick and use it. Because even if you trade for, let's say, KD or Lauri Markkanen or whatever, this entire team, like even if you were to bring one of those 2 players in, right? Everything is still reliant on Joel Embiid getting healthy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, Lauri Markkanen is...
If Lauri Markkanen or KD get brought in here, the team is still going to revolve around Joel Embiid.
Lauri Markkanen's on a $230 million contract.
Yeah, that's an insane amount of money. And Sixers are not in a position to take on that contract unless they get rid of Paul George. But, I mean, you could make the argument that, yeah, having either Lauri or having KD in tandem with Tyrese Maxey or Joel is better than what they have now with Paul George being paired with the 2 of them. But is it enough to get them past the Knicks or past the Celtics?
I don't think
or
so. I don't think so.
The Pacers or
yeah, even the Pacers are good too.
Past the Cavaliers? I don't think
the East is really good now.
Right, so I don't really think that them making that type of trade would even bring the immediate short-term solution that you're trying to get from a trade like that. So the risk is way too high for the lack of reward that I see. And if they were to trade away that pick, I know that it seems not too big of a deal to move from 3 to 5. But the difference is at 3, you get Ace Bailey.
At 5, you get who knows who, because I didn't pay attention to draft prospects.
I'll put it to you this way. At 3, you get a kid with the potential to be an absolute star in this league. At number 3, Ace Bailey is too good to pass up. 19 years old, true freshman.
From Rutgers, so he's local.
Right, from Rutgers, so he's local. And he can potentially slot into either shooting guard or small forward, so he could fill either of those 2 spots that you need. And you're going to need more than just Jared McCain and Tyrese Maxey as your backcourt. That's just way too small of a backcourt. You need someone like Ace Bailey who's 6'7" with a 7-foot wingspan to be your number 2 guard, to be your shooting guard. You kind of need that size. Not only that, you need someone with his type of talent with that type of NBA rookie contract. You're not going to get that type of talent from a free agent or from somewhere else because you don't have the money to go out and spend for someone that's going to be that impactful.
You just
on
put
your
all
team.
your money in that Laurie Marketing, KD contract,
right?
All that.
You're not going to have any money to then do anything to build out the rest of the roster. If you keep this pick and pick him, not only is he going to be an immediate impact, but you can still fill out the rest of your roster and not completely shoot yourself in the foot when it comes to cap. If you trade for 2 players, you're taking yourself out of that position where you're stuck with basically the 9 guys that you have that are already under contract on this roster. And you're going to have to sign guys on 2-way contracts, guys from the G League, and other people just to round out the rest of the rotation.
It's who even knows with Daryl Morey?
So I do like most of... The thing is that making a trade like that all revolves around Joel Embiid being healthy. Everything all revolves around Joel Embiid being healthy. Whether or not you take
because
this pick
he is still the centerpiece
away.
of this team.
Exactly. But if you take Ace Bailey, I have to think that Ace Bailey with Tyrese Maxey plus Quentin Grimes, if you're able to keep him, who's another young player, could be a young core that could carry a Joel Embiid that only plays 60 games.
Not even that. He could play 40, 50 games.
The Sixers have gotten to the point where Joel Embiid can no longer be the focus of this team. Joel Embiid has to be someone that's brought along for the ride, essentially. He has to be a part of this team. He has to be a part of it to be successful. But he can no longer be the focal point of this team because he's not available enough to be the focal point of this team. And you can't just continue to say, Joel Embiid, you're going to be the focal point, and then as soon as you get hurt, all of our chances of winning are completely over. Because you know at some point he's going to get hurt. He's not going to be healthy over an entire season. To think that he is naive. We're not stupid here in Philadelphia. We know what we know. We know basketball. We pay attention to this stuff. We don't just, Philadelphia used to be one of the preeminent places for basketball, period. That's the whole purpose of the Big 5 college tournament between all of those schools that happen in Philadelphia every year. All of those schools used to be tremendous powerhouse basketball schools. Basketball
Villanova
is
who else?
Throughout this city. This city, although it is known for being a football town and a baseball town.
Yeah, it's more of that, but when you come to basketball.
Villanova. This city is not a slouch when it comes to basketball.
Do you remember do you remember Ryan Arcidiacono?
Yeah, Brian Arcidiacono? Yeah.
He went to my high school.
He went to your high school?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Arcidiacono?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yep. In the Chamonix High School.
I don't know who he plays for now.
I don't think he plays for anybody.
I don't know. Yeah,
The
he might be out of the
Windy
league.
City Bulls.
Plays in the G League.
The Windy City Bulls. But yeah, birthplace in Philadelphia. So,
But
where's his
like,
education?
yeah, dude. I mean,
High school in the Neshaminy.
there we go.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy.
He went to my high school and middle school.
One of the guys that's in the Phillies minor leagues I played baseball with.
Oh,
he
who?
went to Brian Marconi.
Oh no! Oh, I've heard of that name.
He was on the Italian national team
Oh,
in the
wow.
World Baseball Classic.
Dude, that's sick. Imagine getting to like play for your country.
Dude, he went. So he originally, I think he was born and like grew up the first like 10 years of his life in Philly, and then
Okay.
he moved over here.
Oh yeah, Italy
And-
activated Brian Marconi.
Yeah, and
What
then he moved over here to New Jersey when
He went to George Mason.
I think the first year I played with him was like my age 13 season. And so the way it goes over in New Jersey is 11 and 12-year-olds play together and then 13-year-olds play separate.
Okay.
This kid was so good he was playing with the 13-year-olds as an 11-year-old.
Wow, that's crazy.
Like,
Dude.
this kid was no joke. Like, even that young, you knew, like, this kid has got a freaking arm. Like, this kid was 11 years old throwing 72, 73 miles an hour.
That's insane. At 11 years old too.
He was like 6'1" already.
Oh my goodness.
He was already like 6'1" as
Wow.
like an 11-year-old kid. Like, dude, he was freak athlete of nature. Like, and I was, I believe, 2 years above him. Or no, I was 1 year above him, grade-wise.
I think the highest pitch I ever saw as a 13-year-old was 79. At 13, I got drilled in like the wrist with 73.
Yeah,
I
that's
think it was,
nuts.
dude. That was.
But
I walked down to first base though. I
Yeah,
stood
like
my
you-
ground like that.
you could tell, like, from a young age, like, there are some guys that, like, you can tell, like, yo, they are different.
They are.
Like, I am nowhere close to this kid's level. Like, Brian Marconi was, like, one of those guys.
Yeah.
And there were other people that also, like, got drafted and stuff like that for people that I went to high school with. But most of them have fallen out of it at this point. There were a couple people that I knew that had made it to AA and stuff like that I used to play with that never made it, and they're now like 27, so they're like, time to hang it up.
Yeah, I
figure out
can't
something
remember
else to
like
do
any
with my life.
baseball players that like went to my. I think one time my gym teacher said, like my PE teacher, he was like, I think he said he was roommates with David Wright at one point in the minor leagues.
So I actually played with
So.
4 guys
Damn, that's impressive.
that got drafted, right? Marconi was one of them.
Okay.
Another guy was Nick Snyder. He was another pitcher. Left-hander, like 6'6", 6'5", huge. Threw really, really hard. But I think he made it to AA with like Texas or something like that. And I don't think he pitches anymore. I think he's back home now. And then there was also Hunter Mason, outfielder, I believe right field. Or at least that's what he played in college.
That doesn't come up to my name at all. Doesn't come up to me.
Don't believe he made it higher than AA either. I'm not entirely sure if he's still trying.
Okay.
And then 4th was Michael Barucki. You might know the last name. He has a cousin that's in the majors.
his cousin Ryan.
Ryan Barucki. Yeah. So he made it to, I believe, single A, and he fell out 2 or 3 years ago.
Damn.
Him, I think it was, he had some type of surgery on his elbow or something like that, so he just stopped. Like
Yeah, fair enough.
The recovery time, I think, was a year plus, and
It's hard to get back into like form
And
with
he
that
was
long of recovery.
already like 25 at either like double or single A. And was like,
Nolan Jones
there's
is
no
from my
point.
hometown.
Dude, that's cool too.
Mhm.
Dude, that's awesome.
I know. I got 2 locals. All right, follow us on YouTube. Our shorts are pretty good, and dislike the comments that's written by Gandalf McNutt and I'll see you next week.
Hey, yo, the pizza here.